Test 1, 2. 2, 2, 2. 2. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you, I had your life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me, but that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made to fit. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap, I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Isupk until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lying, pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. wasn't danger. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time when I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back!
It's okay, I'm right here with you.
Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Most High in Christ. Let me just check this other mic. Testing 1 2 3. All right, Most High in Christ. Back at it. Shalom. Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah Brakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Al-Thah Shemi Al-Shah to all the sisters. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We out here, it's like this is Durham. We're out here in Durham, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? For the Sabbath service, priest and officer 500 Thabawan. You know what I'm saying? I'll be holding it down for today. Okay. In just a minute, we're going to go ahead and begin with this Sabbath service. I'm just waiting for the brother real quick. And we're going to start. Okay, Salakia. So just bear with us just a moment. Again, I hope everybody, let me check online and make sure that I'm coming through. Okay, Most High in Christ. Okay. All right, smooth. All right, let's get started, bro. So I'm going to have you blow the horn first. Okay. Most High in Christ. Okay, so we don't have a third priest at the moment, so we're just going to jump right into the prayers. All right. Salakia. Okay, the water. So we're going to just, like I said, we're going to jump right into the prayers. Imagine, which means to stand. Wapun Yahweh, which means turn and face the east. We're going to grab that mic right there. You know what I'm saying? Or you can grab this one out the, yeah. You should have enough, yeah. You should be 12. And we're going to start out with the Lord's Prayer.
Testing.
Okay. We're going to start out with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'ah, Ratizayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Aisha, Ba'aratiza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathunanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawum, Wasalaknawa, Kabawathwanawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathwanawa, Wala'ah, Tabia Ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abol, Hawashaya Nawa, Mayun, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wala Allah, Wathathaparith, Iwalumium, Amun.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
The prayer for the power, Hakak, in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem. Yahweh Shad. Babakashah. Nathanawa. Nawa. Hakak. La Para'ah. Lara Pa'ah. Kalmakala. Wakal Madawa. Hakak. La Tahar. Hamatazarium. Hamatazarayim. Hamatazarayim. Batazarayim. Hakak. Lahakayim. Lahakuyim. Hamathium. Hakak. Al-Rakath. Al-Rakarawath. Hatama'Allah. Lagarashun. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. The water Amun.
In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Maka'Allah. Wa Allahayim. Matazabaya. Alawap. Yahana. Ha Alawapium. Ha Saranyum. Ha Katazayoyim. Ha Kaayayoyim. Waha Akwathian. Yahweh Bashem. Yahweh Shai. Okay. Wa Akwathian. Yahweh Bashem. Yahweh Shai. The water Amun.
In the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. The 121st Psalm in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Al-Haharium. Mahayan. Yaba'ah. Izoria. Ma'im. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Wa'aratazah. Al-Yathun. Lamawat. Regalka. Al-Yanawum. Shamarka. Hana. La'ah. Yanawum. Wala'ah. Yashashun. Shawamar. Yasha'Allah. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazolka. Al-Yad. Yamyaka. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'a. Yakaka. Wayarak. Balayallah. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Malkai Rai. Yashamar. Afnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Tazaatka. Wabawaatka. Mayatha. Wa'ad. Iwalum.
In the English, I will lift up mine eyes
I will lift up mine eyes
unto the hills,
unto the hills,
from whence cometh my help.
from which cometh my help.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot
He will not suffer thy foot
to be moved.
to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee
He that keepeth
will
thee
not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasha'Allah
he that keepeth
shall
Yasha'Allah
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade
Yahweh is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. The 83rd Psalm in the Hebrew. A little bit more. Come on, that one. Come on. The 83rd Psalm in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Aidamya laka. Al fakarash. Wa al fashakwat. Al kaya hana. Awabyaka. Yahama Yawun. Ra'ash. Al Imaka. Ya'ira Yamwa. Sawada. Wayatha. Ya'itazawa. Al Tazapawanyaka. Amarwa. Laka. Lakawa. Salakia. Wanakakiram. Magowa. Wala Yasakar. Sham Yasha'Allah. Iwada. Kaya. Nawa Aitazawa. Laba. Yakadwa. Ilyaka. Alyaka. Barayath. Yakarathwa. Aholwa. Yeah. Alawum. Wayashamai. Alayam. Mawa'abwa. Wahagarium. Gabal. Wa'amawan. Wa'amalak. Palashath. I'm Yashabia. Tazawar. Gam Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zarawai. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamadin. Kasaya. Sara'ah. Kayabian. Banakol. Kayaswan. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayan. Dara. Hayawa. Daman. La Adama. Shayathamwa. Nara Yabmawa. Nara Yabmawa. Kayarab. Wakazaaba. Wakazabak. Wakazatazol. Mana'ain. Kalnashakamwa. Wait a minute. Ashar. Amarwa. Nayarasha. Lanawa. As. Nawath. Alahayim. Alahaya. Shayathamwa. Kagogala. Kakwash. Lapanya Raraka. Kaash. Tabra Iria. Wakalaba. Talahat. Harayam. Khan. Faradapma. Basa Irika. Wabasa. Wapathka. Thabahalam. Mala'ah. Panyahum. Kwalawum. Waya Bakwashwa. Shamka. Yahweh. Yabashwa. Waya Baholwa. Ajaid. Waya Kaparwa. Waya Abadwa. Waya Da'aiwa. Kaya Atha. Shamka. Yahweh. Labatka. Ilyawun. Al-Kaharatazar.
In the English, keep not thy silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies, make a tumult.
Make a tumult.
And they that hate thee,
And they that hate
have
thee,
lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against.
And consulted against.
Thy hidden ones.
Thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come. Or let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembrance.
May be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
the
thee.
Tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
And Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal.
And Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
And the Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur. Also is joined with them.
Is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kison.
At the brook of Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles.
Make their nobles.
Like Oreb.
Like Oreb.
And like Zeeb.
And like Zeeb.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Zalmunna.
And as Zalmunna.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh.
In possession.
Into possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
Like the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame.
And as the flame.
Set the mountains on fire.
Set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute
with
them.
Thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name. Thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea. Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish. That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
Whose
name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth. SARS.
Blow the horn again. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Majim, Sakia. Yeshabium, which means to be seated. Okay. So what we just did, of course, was we read through the prayers. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and jump where we left off last week. You can turn the mic off. Okay, we're gonna jump to where we left off last week, which is the book of Leviticus, chapter 14 and verse 50. Okay. Okay. Most High in Christ. Yeah, we good. So you can go ahead and read the Hebrew. Okay, yeah, take your time. Yeah, 14 and 50. So the brother's going to pick it up in the Hebrew, right, in Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 50. And remember also, if you would like to follow along, to go to blueletterbible.org. Blueletterbible.org. You type in the chapter and the verse, Leviticus chapter 14. You scroll down to verse 50, and you're going to see a tab, right, that says, what does it say, Salakia? Tools, count the water. That says tools. You click on that, and the Hebrew will pop up, and you can follow along. Yes.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 50 in the Hebrew. Washakat ath hatasapar ha'akath al kalya karash al mayum hayayum verse 51 in the Hebrew. Walakwak ath Itazah Ha'araz Wa'ath Ha'azab Wa'ath Shanya Hakawal La'aith Wa'ath Hatazapar Haikaya Watabol Athum Badum Hatazapar Hashakawata Wabamayam Hakayayam Wahaza Al Habayath Shabai Pa'aimayam Salakia. Verse 52. Wakata'a ath Habayath Badum Hataza Pawar Wababayam Hakayayam Wabatazapar Hakaya Wabaitazah Ha'araz Wabaazab Wabashanya Haithawa La'aith. Verse 53. Washalak ath Hatazapar Hakaya al Makawataza La'ayar al Panya Hashada Wakapar al Habayath Itahar
Watahar.
Salakia Watahar. The white out of one.
Yeah.
Verse 54. Za'ath Hathawa Ra Lakal Nagai Hatazara Aith Walana Thak. Verse 55. Walatazara Aith Habagad Walabayath. Verse 56. Walasha'ath Walasapakath. The last one should be 57, right?
No, 56 is the last one.
Okay, con out of one con.
Kind of jump back up and read in
English. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 50 in the English. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Verse 51. And he shall take the cedar wood and the cedar wood and the hyssop or the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water and sprinkle the house 7 times. Verse 52. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird and with the running water and with the living bird and with the cedar wood and with hyssop and with the scarlet. Verse 53. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. Verse 54. This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scald. Verse 55. And for the leprosy of a garment and of a house. Verse 56. And for a rising and for a scab and for a bright spot. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 57 in the Hebrew.
Let me go ahead and get that one.
Khan out of one
If you don't
Khan.
mind, Salakia. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, and verse 57 in the Hebrew. Lahawarath, Bayawam, Hatama'ah, Wabayawam, Hatahar, Za'ath, Dawarath, Ha Tazara'ith. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and verse 1. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashah, wa al Aharon La'amar. Verse 2. Debarwa al Banya Yasha'ala, wa Amarathum Alahum Ayash Kaya Yahweh.
Yeah.
Kansalaki Tawada. Yahaya Zab Mabasharwa Zawabwa Tama'a Hawa'a. Verse 3. Waza'ath Tahaya Tama'athwa Bazawabwa Rara Basharwa Ath Zawabwa Awa Hakathium Basharwa Mazawabwa Tama'athwa Hawa'a. Verse 4. Kal Hamashakab Ashar Yashakab Alyawa Hazab Yatama'a Wakal Hakalya Ashar Yashab Alyawa Yatama'a. Verse 5. Wa'ayash Ashar Yagai Ba Slakia Ba Mashakabwa Yakabas Bagadyawa Warakataza Bamayum Watama'a Aid Ha'irab. Verse 6. Wahayashab Al Hakolya Ashar Yashab Alyuwa Hazab Yakabas. It's like Yakabasa Bagadyuwa Warakataza Bamayum Watama'a Aid Ha'irab. That's the end of verse 6. If you could, Bob, could you pick it up in the English? Back in 14, correct. Verse, was that 51?
The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 1 in the English. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, verse 52, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanliness or uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Verse 4. Every bed whereon he lieth, that he hath the issue, is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. Verse 5. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be clean until the evening. And verse 6. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat, that hath the issue, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in the water and be unclean until the evening.
So now, go ahead. What you got, bro?
I was going to ask, what verse 2, is it talking about a brother that may be bleeding? Because it says running issue.
It's like pus, or like you have some kind of issue coming out your eye, or you have a boil and it busts, and
it's
it's
any
not
kind
just
of
secretion.
Yeah, it's not as simple like, okay, like it's not going to be to the point where if you got a paper cut, you can't come to camp. You know what I'm saying? It's more of like the brother said, where you have some kind of like a boil, some kind of medical, you know what I'm saying, excretion from your bodily fluids, right? So if you like bleeding profusely, or if you got like the boil and you got pus flowing out and things like that, like a medical thing, you know what I'm saying? It's not just talking about a simple paper cut you can put it. Also, you got to remember too, now we have Band-Aids and things like that change it as well. It's like sisters now have pads and things like that they wouldn't have had back then. Back then, if they had to run an issue, they had to go away from the camp, right? So same thing with a brother back then, because they didn't have the same medical means. It would be dangerous for this brother who got pus running out of his goddamn eye to be just sitting around the rest of us, because we can get sick too. Yeah. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Most time in Christ. Keep going, brother. But that was the end of that, right?
Con one con.
Now you go ahead and jump back. So again, we don't have a third a brother to read, a third priest at the moment. So that's why, of course, we got to just read them as is. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna read all the way through 7. So that was the second set right there. So this is about to be the third set. We're going to start with the Hebrew and then go to the English all the way through 7 sets. All right? So you go ahead, brother.
Khan. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 7 in the Hebrew. Wahana Gai. Bamashar. Hazab. Yakabas. Bagadayaw, Baragayawa, Salakia. Bagajwa. Rarakataza. Bamayam. Watama'a. Aid. Ha'irab. Verse 8. Wakaya. Yarak, Hizab, Batahawar, Wakabas, Bagajawa. Did I say that right? Bagajawa?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Warakataza, Bamayam, Watama'a Aid. Ha'irab. Verse 9. Wakol. Hamarakab. Ashar. Yarakab. Aliyawa. Hazab. Yatama'a. Verse 10. Wakol. Hanagai, Bakol, Ashar, Yahaya, Thakathiawa, Yatama'a, Aid, Ha'irab, Waha, Nawasha'a, Awatham, Yakabas, Bagadiawa, Warakataza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Aid, Ha'irab. Verse 11. Wakol, Ashar, Yagai, Bawa, Hazab, Wayadayawa, La'a. Shatap.
Verse you
Verse 11, the word shatap.
That's correct.
Shatap. Bamayam. Wakabas. Wagadawa. Bagajawa. Okay. Rarakataza. Bamayam. Watama'a Aid. Ha'irab. Verse 12. Wakolia. Parash. Ashar. Yaga'ai. Bawa. Hazab. Yashabab, Yashabar, Wakol, Kalyawa, Kalya, Aitaza, Yashatap, Bamayam. Verse 13.
This is the last one.
This is the last one. Go on. Verse 13. Wakaya, Yatahar, Hazab, Mazawabya, Wabwa, Mazawabwa, Wabwa, Yasapar, Lawa, Shaba'ith, Yamayam, Letaharwathwa, Wakabas, Bagajawa, Wara Kataza, Basharawa, Bamayam, Hayayam, Watahar. And we started at 8, right?
We started at 7. So that's
7.
Yeah.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 7. And he that touches the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. Verse 8. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. Verse 9. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. Verse 10. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. Verse 11. And whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue and hath not rinsed his hand in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even.
So you see just how important cleanliness was
That's
in our
right.
nation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this seems archaic, but again, this is how you see how much water is mentioned here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these devils barely know how to wash themselves, man. They're filthy and disgusting. But washing yourself in general was important in our culture. But if a brother had some kind of disease, or if he was bleeding, or if he was, you know what I'm saying, where his bodily fluids, which we knew before any of these doctors and everything, we knew that his bodily fluids could affect the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? We had to be away from each other for a certain dispensation of time. So
That's
this is
right.
social distancing before goddamn COVID-19. Go ahead, brother.
Oh God, I was just gonna say the same thing. So
Right.
we had quarantine even in the Bible.
We had quarantine, man. If you was, you know what I'm saying, sick or bleeding, or if a sister was on a flower or something or whatever. I know y'all read about last week about the hair, right? About the blonde hair.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like all kind of different things where you just wait a minute, you got to get away from us for a little while until you good again, because we can't risk it. You know what I'm saying? So cleanliness and health and medicine is very important in our culture. You understand? Please.
Well, I missed it. I wasn't here last week. What was the thing about the hair?
No, I wasn't here either, but yeah, you was here.
If I may, sir, like in I believe it's in chapter 13, it talks about if you had a spot, a blemish, and then the hair was white or blonde, you were unclean.
I remember now. Basically leprosy, right?
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Because leprosy spreads. You know what I'm saying? It can, right? When I say, and I say spread in terms of on the body, right? Because it could be blotches and things like that, and the body turns out. So as soon as they saw that, they were like, "Yo, you unclean. Like, get away from us until we know what's up. Maybe if this gets cleared up, no sweat."
And if I may, sir, it says later on, it says that if they go back and they check it, and then the hair is black, then he's clean.
Right. So they're making sure he ain't got the real joint that's about to be, you know what I'm saying, he about to be Michael Jackson or something up in here. They want to make sure, you know what I mean? So, any more on that question?
No, that was it.
Most High in Christ. Keep going, brother.
Verse 12. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth with hath the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
So if a vessel was made of clay or something from the earth, right, break that ish. Like he touched it, he got this issue or whatever, break it in other words, get rid of it. Break it and throw it away.
If I may, sir. You know, this also shows the importance, man. Like, the whole community was more important, man.
Right.
Than the feelings of one individual.
That's right, man.
You understand? Like, that one individual, we going to take care of that brother or that sister.
Damn right.
But we going to take care of the whole community first.
Most High in
and
Christ.
that's what's important for us to understand in our mindset today, where it's the opposite.
That's right.
Where we think about ourselves and we don't think in terms of a nation or a community.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Damn right, man. Because again, we're taught in America to do what? To be selfish.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're taught, you know what I'm saying, what Biggie said, you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always about me and mine. And you know what I mean? Officer Zion said something so Tawab at camp a little while back when he said, you know what I'm saying? He said something, he's like, so you mean to tell me that I can't have my uncle so you can drive a Rolls Royce or you can drive a nice car? And I can't have my uncle, and I can't have my grandfather, I can't have my aunt, whatever. I gotta lose my whole family and my siblings going off to foster care and things like that. So one nigga can drive a Porsche. That's what we're raised in America to be like. You understand?
That's right.
When in our record, you'll see that our leadership was always about maintaining the nation above all. That's why when somebody committed a horrible sin, what did it say? They would have to be stoned or whatever to remove sin from the nation. You know what I'm saying? They would have to, we got to get that plague away from us. This brother selling, we don't do that now because of Christ, but back then this brother trying to sell drugs, he got to go. We got to stop the spread of that plague. This sister, she's a whore, she got to go. She's sleeping with, you know what I'm saying, with men who ain't her husband. No, we can't have that. Because if we let her live, then what's going to happen? Other sisters going to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But now, of course, through Christ, we have the ability to come back into the fold. You got something, brother? No sweat. Any more on that, brother? Yeah, that's to our point. The water for that.
Verse 13. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean.
Man, and let me just say this real quick too, man. Like, you got to think how many thousands and thousands and thousands of years this is before the AIDS epidemic. Now look at our brothers and sisters. We lead into all the new cases of AIDS, HIV, all these horrible diseases and things like that. But even back then, we understood when it came to blood, we didn't play around. We didn't play around. When it was blood, 7 days. You understand? If you had a running issue of blood, the same thing with a sister, a running issue of blood, 7 days before you can even think about coming back into the congregation. You get something? Okay. No sweat. So now we're gonna jump to the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and verse 14. Okay? I'm gonna read it in the Hebrew, if you don't mind, brother.
Oh,
okay. Most High in Christ. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and verse 14. Wabayawam ha shamayanya yakwak lawa shataya tarayam awa shanya banya yawana waba'a lapanya yahawa al pathak ahol Mawa'id, Wanathanum, Al, Hakahan. Verse 15. Wa'isha, Athum, Hakahan, Akkad, Kata'ath, Waha'akad, Ilah, Wakapar, Alyawa, Hakahan, Lapanya, Yahweh, Mazawabwa. Verse 16. Wa Ayash, Kaya, Tataza'a, Mama Noah, Wa Kabath, Zarai, Warakataza, Bamayum, Ath, Cal, Basharwa, Watama'a, Aid, Ha'irab, Wakal, Bagad, Wakal, Iwar, Ashar, Yahaya, Alyawa, Shakabath, Zarai, Wakabas, Bamayum, Watama'a, Aid, Ha'irab. Verse 18. Wa'asha, Ashar, Yashakab, Ayash, Atha, Shakabath, Zarai, Warakatazawa, Bamayum, Watama'awa, Aid, Ha'irab. Salaki. I started verse 14, right one.
Kana one card.
Okay, I go to 20. Verse 19. Wa'asha, Kaya, Tahaya, Zabah, Dum, Yahaya, Zabah, Babashara, Shabaith, Yamayum, Tahaya, Wanadata, Wakal, Hanagai, Baha, Yatama'a, Aid, Ha'irab. Verse 20. Wakal, Ashar, Dashakab, Alyawa, Bana, Data, Yatama'a, Wakal, Ashar, Dashab, Alyawa, Yatama'a. That's the end of verse 20. You pick it back up at verse 14 in the English.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 14 in English. And on the 8th day, he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. Verse 15. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue.
Salagia.
Please.
Quick question. Now, what in the Bible? What exactly do pigeons? What do they represent? Because you always read about that. What is exactly, or not pigeons, but or doves? What do they exactly do? They represent?
A dove is a pigeon.
Well, white, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a white pigeon. They're the same thing.
What exactly do they represent though? Because I know that
that's a Tawab question. Let's. I don't even know if they do represent anything, but I'm sure there's a. I think what you're asking is why turtle doves?
Yeah. Right.
Like why? Like of all the animals that we got to sacrifice, why turtle doves? Please.
Because I read somewhere else in the Bible where I think what is it? Christ, one of his favorite animals is a pigeon. His favorite flower is the lily. I believe that's somewhere in the Apocrypha.
It's somewhere in there. I think it's not a lily, but it's But yeah, the Most High does have a favorite flower. He has a favorite bird,
a favorite everything.
Yeah,
favorite land.
God. You about to say something?
What I was going to say is I believe that it's because everybody could afford those things. Like they were not so expensive or easy to attain. So for these wasn't sin. These weren't sin offerings.
Right.
Like if somebody gets sick, so why put a big expense on him and let him sacrifice something that he could afford?
Yeah. It could be, but in this particular verse, it does say it's 2 turtle doves. One is a sin offering. One is a sin offering. One is a burnt offering. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get Captain Nayadok to break down exactly why a turtle dove. That's a Tawab question. Now, I would like to know as well, why a turtle dove? We know that they use them, but why that animal? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Cap can go ahead and break that down for us. The water for that question, brother.
So I'm gonna read 15 over again.
Yeah.
And the priest shall offer them, because I made this mistake, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue.
Okay.
Verse 16. And if any man's seed or copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening.
This is a very important scripture for my brothers in the truth, because we know that this scripture right here lets us know when we can go ahead and tie fire to our ribs and when we cannot, right? Because with your seed of copulation, meaning your semen, right? Meaning you, in layman's terms, ejaculate. You have sex with your woman, you ejaculate, right? You are unclean until the even, right? Which means what? That means that Friday night, it's a no-go. It's a no-go for Friday night. If you're going to do it on Friday, it better be before the sun go down. Make sure that's when you do that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure whatever you're doing where your seed of copulation comes out of you has to be done before sundown, right? Because after sundown, you're going to be unclean until the following even. You understand? And so, and then, when it starts to get summertime, it's rough because the sun go down late. And you can't come to class if you unclean and the sun going down at 8:10, class start at 7, so you kind of just gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta map them out a little bit better when the weather clear up and the spring come and the summer come or whatever. But during the winter, you good because the sun go down at like 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's what this is talking about. Read on, brother.
Verse 17. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. Mm-hmm. Verse 18. The woman also with whom man shall lie with, seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the even.
Right, so even the sister that the brother laid with, she unclean until the even as well. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even.
Right, of course this is talking about, you know what I'm saying, it's going to go into her menstrual. You know what I'm saying? And if a brother deals with her now, someone asked the question on Across the Line, I believe, about can you lay with your rib when she's on her flower? Yeah. Of course, we cannot teach that it is a sin. Oh, it wasn't Across the Line. It was actually in the scripture breakdown. We can't teach that it's a sin because it's not a sin. There's nowhere in the Bible that says it is a sin for you to lay with your rib when she's on her flower. But what we can say is that it is gross and disgusting. That's right. And if you have the desire to do that, you should examine yourself and get some counsel.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because, brother, there's other ways
to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? You can wait. You'll be fine.
Filthy.
You know what I'm saying? Have some goddamn discipline, some restraint. You know what I mean? Yeah, brother.
So when it's saying she should be put apart, now exactly what we're saying when she should be put apart.
Back then, it would just mean that she would be out of the house, or she would be, so the congregation or the camp, you might call it, where we are, she got to go outside of it. So remember when all of this is being spoken, we're in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? We have not yet established a land of ours. Yeah, we're still kind of, you know what I'm saying, wandering. You know what I'm saying? Moses is bringing these laws after he spoke to the Most High, right? And we were encamped and things like that. So we're kind of nomadic, and we have a large group of people, but we set up camps. So if she was on a flower, she'd have to go outside of it. Doesn't mean she's put away. It just means that you just can't be amongst us for this dispensation of time. Once we established our land, we might have had a place towards the edge of the land or something where she can go stay with there might have been a house for sisters who are on their flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just the area where they can be. If you're on your flower, go there, right? And then when you clean, then you can come back or whatever. So that's what it's talking about when it says Salakia. Where am I at? Oh, should be put apart 7 days. It should mean she'll be away from everybody for a little while. Okay.
So in today's time, like if you have a rib in the house, I mean, I guess you just wouldn't sleep in the same bed with her? Well,
no, actually, even that. Well, really, you just take precautions. And this is how it was put to me by Captain Knight Doc. You take precautions because, again, now we have certain things they didn't have back then. Right? We got pads and tampons and things like that. You just want to make sure that you don't touch her in that way. Okay. So if you know what I'm saying? Because some people got a studio. Everybody don't got more than one bedroom. You know what I'm saying? You might have a studio apartment or something. So what you do is she put on her pads or whatever she put on, and she may get an extra blanket or an extra something to wrap herself in, so that way there's no chance of you coming in contact with that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that way she's not laying directly on the same sheets as you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you do in that situation. Okay? Something else?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. Most High in Christ. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 20. And everything that she lies upon in her separation shall be unclean. And everything also that he sitteth upon, that she sitteth upon, shall be unclean.
Now, if you notice, again, this is just talking about the same thing when it talks about the brother with a running issue. It's the same thing. Whatever she sit on, whatever she touch, whatever, it's just because that blood, you know what I'm saying, carries diseases and things like that. So you got to be very, very careful when someone has blood coming out of their body. Okay? Go ahead, brother. So now we're going to jump to verse 21 in the Hebrew.
The book of Leviticus chapter 15 verse 21 in the Hebrew will call Hanagai Bamashakabah Yakabas Bagadyawa Wahakataza Bamayam Watama'a Aid Irab. Verse 22. Wakol Hanagai Bakol Kalya Ashar Thashab Ilayawa Yakabas Bagadyawa Warakataza Bamayam Watama'a Aid Ha'irab. Verse 23. Wa'am Al Hamashakab Hawa'a Awa Al Hakalya Ashar Hawa'a Yashabath Al Yawa Banagayawa Bawa Yatama'a Aid Ha'irab. Verse 24. Wa'am Shakab Yashakab Ayash Atha Watha Haya Nadatha Al Yawa Watama'a Waba'aith Yamayam Wakol Hamashakab Ashar Yashakab Al Yawa Yatama'a. Verse 25. Wa'asha Kaya Yazawab Zawab Dama Yamayam Rabayam Bala'a Aith Nadatha Awa Kaya Thazawab Al Nadatha Kal Yamaya Zawab Tama Atha Kayamaya Nadatha Thahaya Tama'a Hawa'a. Verse 26. Kal Hamashakab Ashar Thashakab Aliyawa Kal Yamaya Zawaba Kama Shakab Nadatha Yahaya, Laha, Wakol, Hakalia, Ashar, Thashab, Aliyawa, Tama'ah, Yahaya, Katama'ath, Nadatha. Verse 27, this is the last one? Yeah. 27? Okay, 21, right? Yeah. Khan. Verse 27. Wakol, Hanawagai, Bum, Yatama'ah, Wakapas, Bagadjawa, Rarakataza, Bamayan, Watama'ah, Aid, Ha'irab. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 21 in the English. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. Verse 22. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean. Of course, that goes for male and female. Verse 23. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when she toucheth it, he shall be unclean until even. Verse 24. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flower be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. Mm-hmm. And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. So that means like if you're having intercourse with your woman and she comes on a flower, you're unclean for 7 days too.
Absolutely.
Gone.
So it's this in this situation, it's not just to the even. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if you lying with your rib, it's again why it's not a sin. Nowhere does it say you're sinning. It's just gross. And it's irresponsible if you can avoid it. Now, of course, there are situations where it may happen and you didn't expect it or whatever. Now you're unclean. Okay, whatever. But if you purposely doing that, you can't be no priest and prophet.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you're going to be unclean for 7 days. So just forget class, right? Forget class. Forget the Sabbath service. Forget camp. Forget all of that. Because you just had to get some with the running issue at the same time. Disgusting. Go ahead, GP.
That means if a brother's doing that, that means at least every month you missing a week of class.
Right. If he's like consistently doing that, because he got some weird fetish and that's what he like to do. That's what I'm saying. You can't be no priest and prophet because you getting free weeks off every month. Like it's just nasty. It's
Isn't that
just
kind of
nasty.
like,
Go ahead,
if
brother.
I may, that's kind of like some kind of sexual deviancy, man.
No, damn right. It's like
Yeah.
we cannot. It's not a sin for you to do that. But if you again have a thing where you just want to do it all the time and in an accident, counsel. Because I got a question. I mean, I don't know, man. Like that brother, we going to camp together. We got to go to war together, and I don't know. Something ain't right mentally with that to me. So you got to get some counsel, you know what I mean, to make sure that everything's in order. But yeah, if you're a priest and prophet, you got to avoid that as best as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers, it's not as easy. But again, I'm talking about if you purposely doing it. If it's an accident, you know what I'm saying, we're just going to deal with it accordingly. It's happened before. I know brothers who've had to end up being unclean because, you know what I mean, something happened. They didn't know, you know what I'm saying, ribs have different kind of cycles. All kinds of things happen. Yeah. But, you saying to yourself, you calling Cross the Line Radio, or you you asking Captain Tazaryak, is it too wild to sleep with your rib when she, oof. No sweat, brother. But like the captain said, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. Yeah. All right.
It's not more? Clean, yeah. Man.
Any more, Yanazar?
La.
So what? Okay, now we're verse 28, right?
25. No, I mean Salakia.
Oh, did you finish it? So you finished verse 27?
Yeah.
Can.
Whosoever shall touch it shall clean and bathe himself, and he shall be clean till the evening.
Right. So you
Calm.
finished verse 27. All right. So I'm going to pick it up in the Hebrew of verse
28.
28. The book of Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 28. Shalom. Wa tahara mazabak. It's like mazabah. Wa sapara la shaba'ith yamayam wa akar tatahar. Verse 29. Wa bayawam hashamayanya takwak la shataya tawayam awa shanya banya yawana wa habayaa awatham al hakahan al pathak ahol mawa'id. Verse 30. Wa Aisha hakahan ath ha'akad kata'ath wa ath ha'akad ailah wa kapar it's like ailaya hakahan lapanya yahawa mazawab tamata. Verse 31. Waha zaratham ath banya yasha'ala mata ma'atham wala'a yamathwa batama atham batama ath mashakanya. It's like homeless. Let me see that word. It might be mashak. That's mashakun. Mashakanya ashar bathawakam. Verse 32. Za'ath thawarath hazab wa ashar tataza'ah mamanawa shakabath zarai latama'ah ba. Verse 33. Wa harawa banadata wa hazab ath zawabwa lazakar wala nakwaba wala ayash ashar yashakab aim tama'ah. It's like, where did I start? I started at what?
Start at 29.
I started at 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. The book of Leviticus chapter 16 and verse 1. Waya Debar, Yahweh, Al Mashah, Akarya, Mawath, Shanya, Banya, Aharon, Bakwarabatham, Lapanya, Yahweh, Waya Mathwa. Can you get back into English in verse 27?
That's 15 and 27.
Okay.
The book of Leviticus chapter 15 verse 27 in the English. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. Verse 28. If she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. 29. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her two turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them into the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 30. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for the issue of her uncleanness. Verse 31. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. Verse 32. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith. Verse 33. And of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. The book of Leviticus, chapter 16, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before the Lord and died.
Okay, that's the end of that set right there. I believe we have two more. We're going to pick it up back in Leviticus chapter 16 and verse 2. In the Hebrew, you got it, Yanazar?
Khan.
The book of Leviticus chapter 16 and verse 2.
In the Hebrew, Wayamar, Yahweh, Al-Mashah, Debar, Al-Aharon, Akayad, Akayak, Wa'al, Yaba'ah, Bakol, Aith, Al, Hakwadash, Mabayath, Laparakath, Al, Panya, Hakaparath, Ashar, Al, Ha'aran, Wala'ah, Yamawath, Kaya, Ba'ainawa, Ara'ah, Allah, Al, Salakia, Al, Hakaparath. Verse 3. Baza'ath, Yaba'ah, Aharon, Al, Hakadash, Bapar, Bun, Bakwar, Lakata'ath, Wa'ayol, La'ayla, Salakia. Verse 4. Kathanath, Bad, Kodash, Yalabash, Wamakanasia, Bad, Yahayawa, Al, Bashawawa, Waba'a, Salakia, Waba'a, Banat, Bad, Yakagar, Waba Matazan Napath, Bad, Yataza Nap, Bagadia, Kodash, Hum, Warakataza, Bamayam, Ath, Basharawa, Wala Basham. Is the last one? 5.
Hold on 1 second. 2.
We started at
2.
No, we go to 8 or 7.
You started at 2, so.
Okay, Gone. Verse 5.
No, verse 8 is the last one. 16 to 8 is the last one.
Gone. Wama'ath, Idath.
And this is actually the last set.
Gone. Banya, Yasha'ala, Yakwak, Shanya, Sha'aya, Raya, Isayam, Lakata, Ath, Wa'ayol, Akkad, La'ayla. Verse 6. Wahakwarayab, Aharon, Ath, Par, Hakata, Ath, Ashar, Lawa, Wakapar, Ba'aidawa, Waba'aid, Baya Thawa. Verse 7. Lapaquat. Walaquak. The water. Ath. Shanya. Hasha Ayaram. Waha Aymayad. Waha Aymayad. Athum. Lapanya. Yahweh. Pathak. Ahol. Mawa'aid. Verse 8, the last. Wanathwa. Aharon. Al. Shanya. Hasha Ayarum. Gawa Ralawath. Gawa Rol. Akkad. La Yahweh. Waga Warol. Akkad. La Isa Azol. La Isa Azol. The book of Exodus, Leviticus, chapter 16, we started. Verse 2 in the English, Salakia. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not, for I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. Verse 4, and he shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitri shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, so put them on. Verse 5, and he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Verse 6, and Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. Verse 7, and he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
One more verse. Verse 8.
Verse 8, and Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord and the other lot for the scapegoat.
Yeah, no sweat. All right, so with that, that's the we're gonna clip it there. That's the end of the 49th verse, or the 7th set of 7 verses. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close out the Sabbath service right now. So just up here, Imadium, which means to stand. You can go to home, brother. Everybody, Imajim, which means to stand. Wapanyak Wadum, which means turn and face the east. I'll close out with the prayers. We're going to start off with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shemayim,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakwaka,
Malakwaka,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Ratazayaka,
Zayaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Ba'aratazar,
Baratazar,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Latananawa, Lakam,
Lakam,
Cow,
Cow,
Yawum,
Yawum,
Wasalaknawa,
Salaknawa,
Kabawathanawa,
Waknawa,
Kasalaknawa,
Kasalaknawa,
Kabawathanawa,
Wakinawa,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Taba'aya Nawa,
Tabi'ayanawa,
Banasaya 1,
Bonasai 1,
Abol,
Abol,
Hawashaya Nawa,
Shinawa,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hamalakwa,
Hamalakwa,
Waha'ala,
Ha'alam,
Warathaparith,
Rathaparan,
La'iwalumium,
Awalamium,
Amun.
Amun. In the English, our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom
Thy
come.
will be done.
Thy will be done
in earth,
as
as it is in heaven.
it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forgive us our
And
debts.
forgive us our debts
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
into
temptation.
temptation.
But deliver us
from
evil.
From evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
I just noticed it. Probably sing that while you was.
Yeah, when I was
No sweat.
Is that 12?
That's 12. That's 12.
The prayer, Hakak, for the power. Yahweh Bashim.
Yahweh Bashim.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah.
Baba Kashah.
Baba Kusha.
The thunder nawa.
Thundernawa.
Hakak. Hakak.
Hakak.
La para akal.
Lara Pa'ah.
Salakia. Lara pa'ah.
Lara Pa'ah.
Kal makala.
Kal Makala.
Wa kal madawa.
Kal Malawa.
Hakak.
Hakak.
La thahar.
Tahar.
Matazarium.
Hamatazarayim.
Ha
Hamatazarayim.
matazarium.
Hamatazarayim.
Hakak.
Hakak.
La haquium.
Lahakrium.
Hamathium.
Hamathium.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Al rakawath.
Awakawa.
Hatama'ala.
Tama'ala.
Lagarishun.
Lagarishun.
Ba'ashim Yahushai.
Bashim Yahushua.
The water amun.
Wada Amun. In the English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
All manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Ma'yaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Matazabaya. Alawap Yahana. Ha Alawapium. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kwatazazoyim. Ha Kayayoyum. Wa Ha Awak Akwathian. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. The water amun.
In the English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers. The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Al-Harayim. Haharium. Mahayan. Yaba'ah. Azoria. Ma'aim. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Waharatazar. Ayathun. Lamawat. Ragolka. Al-Yanawum. Shamarka. Hanala'ah. Yanawum. Wala'ah. Yayashun. Shawamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazolka. Al-Yad. Yamyaka. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'ayakaka. Wayarak. Balayala. Balayala. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarika,
Shamarka,
Makal Rai,
Kalrai,
Yashamar,
Shamar,
Athnapashka,
Athnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Shamar,
Tazaatka,
Akir,
Wabawaatka,
Wa'akir,
Mayatha,
Ma'atha,
Wa'id Iwalum.
Wa'id I will lift up mine eyes
I will lift up mine eyes
unto the hills, from which cometh my help.
From which cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot
He will not suffer thy foot
to be moved.
to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah
he that keepeth
shall
Yasha'Allah
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade
Yahweh is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all
He shall
evil.
preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. The 83rd Psalm in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Al-Damaya Laka,
Al-Damiyalakah,
Al-Fakarash,
Al-Takarash,
Wa Al-Fashakwat,
Al-Tashakwat,
Al Kayahana,
Yahana,
Awayabuka, Awayabuka,
Awayabika,
Yahamai Yawan,
Hamayawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Imaka,
Aimaka,
Ya'ira Yamwa,
Ariyamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayatha,
Ya'ai Tazawa,
Ya'ai Tazawa,
Al-Tazabwapanyaka,
Al-Tazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakinam,
Wanakakinam,
Magolwa,
Magoya,
Wala Ayazakar,
Ayazakar,
Sham Yasha'ala,
Sham Yasha'Allah,
Iwada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa Itazawa,
Nawa'ai Tazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Kadwa,
Ilyaka,
Alyaka,
Barayath,
Baryat,
Yakarathwa,
Karathwa,
Aholwa,
Holya,
Arawam,
Adawam,
Wa Yashama Ayala,
Wayashama,
Allah, Yam,
Alayam,
Alayam, Mawa'abwa,
Mawa'abu,
Wahagorium,
Wahagariam,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak,
Wamalak,
Palashath,
Palashah,
I'm Yashabia,
Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Amam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarawai,
Alawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Shalaham,
Kamadjin,
Kamadi,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Hayawa, Kayabian,
Kayabni,
Banakol,
Banakol,
Kayash,
Koyash,
Kachwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Ba'ayan Da'ara,
Bayan Ra,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
Arama,
Sheathamwa,
Sayathamwa,
Narayamawa,
Nada Yamawa,
Ka'irab,
Ka'irab,
Wakaza'aba,
Wakazaba,
Wakazabak,
Wakazabak,
Wakatazol,
Katazol,
Mana'ai,
Mana'ai,
Kal Nayasabkamwa,
Kaunasai Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Marwa,
Nayarasha,
Naya Rasha,
Lanawa,
Nanawa,
Asht,
Ah,
Na'awath,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Sayathamwa,
Sayathamwa,
Kagogla,
Gogala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya Rabaka,
Panya Rabaka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Thabia Ira, Yaira,
Baba Ira Yaira,
Wakalaba,
Kalaba,
Falahat,
Alahat,
Harayam,
Harayam,
Khan, Faradapma,
Datma,
Basa Iraka,
Sa'iraka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Hafka,
Thabahalam,
Sabahalom,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyahum,
Kwalawan,
Malawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Ibakwashwa,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Howard,
Yabashwa,
Bashwa,
Waya Baholwa,
Ibaholwa,
Aija'id,
Ayai,
Waya Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya Da'aiwa,
Ida Iwa,
Kayatha, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ilyawun, Al-Kaharatazar.
In the English, keep not thou silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies. Make a tumult.
Make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate
have
thee.
lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against.
And consulted against.
Thy hidden ones.
Thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
At the name of Israel.
At the name of Israel.
Maybe no more remembrance.
Maybe no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against
They are
thee.
confederate against
the
thee.
Tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
And of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And of Hagarenes.
Gebal. And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur. Also. Is joined with them.
Joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
And as to Jabin.
At the brook of Kison.
At the brook of Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
And became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles.
Make their nobles.
Like Oreb.
Like Oreb.
And like Zeeb. Yea.
Yea,
all their princes, as Zabah, and as Almunah,
who said,
let us take to ourselves, the houses of Yahweh, into possession. Oh my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame, set the mountains on fire. So persecute them, with thy tempest, and make them afraid, with thy storm, fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know, that thou, whose name alone, is Yahweh, art the Most High, over all the earth. And now you call like you ending the class.
Okay,
so courtesy salute.
We give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shabbat, class dismissed.